Our next performer is a guy who has got some pretty great videos on TikTok. He produces music, he makes videos, he's a stand-up comic, he's been a touring metal musician, he's got all sorts of wild stories, and he also likes to make me feel real nervous about how well he's gonna do tonight, but I expect he's gonna crush it. I would like to introduce my dear friend, the Reverend John Wheeler.
I don't know why. Is this on?
Button.
Oh, there's a button.
Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why you'd be nervous. I've done stand-up comedy so few times that this is my first time using a wireless mic. There we go. Hey. Oh man, it is way past your bedtime. But then again, it's way past my bedtime too. See, I've been saying that for years, and now that I'm 41, it's a little creepier, but my goal is to get like really old and start doing that and just terrify teenagers who are out by a lake. I mean, what? Does anyone else have retirement plans around here? I mean, that's about as good as I can expect. I'll get a nice trench coat. It's way past your bedtime. It's unsettling, but when I'm like scraggly and gray, it'll be way more unsettling. I gotta say that there's a bit of a milestone for me here today. At actually midnight tonight, I will have been sober for 10 solid hours. Because I fell asleep after brunch and I had to drive myself here. I will say, I think this is maybe the first time I've done stand-up sober. Kruger has seen like 90% of the times that I've done stand-up, and I've usually been like blind drunk. And yeah, people are right, public speech is really scary. I used to think that I was just like really good at it, but nope, I was just too drunk for my DNA to scream at me that this is a horrible, scary idea. I did read that there's a reason for that. There's a reason people put public speech, they fear it more than death. We all do. And it's because I guess going back like a million years of when we were barely not even still monkeys, kind of, like really far back. Like if you were ever up talking in front of a group of people, you were trying to convince them not to kill you. It's like it was a real science paper, it's a real thing. They're like, yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like they're gonna like stone you to death and eat you, and maybe not in that order. Today I was the most nervous about finding parking in Uptown, though. You know, anyway, though, I think that's why it's so like nerve-wracking when you're starting. You're like, okay, like you got to get everyone on your side, and you feel really scared to take risks and stuff because you're like, you know, again, don't want to get eaten. But I just wanted to ask, does anyone here, what's your least favorite race? Oh, now what?
What context?
See, now there's gonna be more of this joke. And I'm just gonna throw it out there that there's no need to be that nervous. Because I don't think they would book someone who only wanted to come up here to spew Fox News talking points and be like, telling like awful, horrible, scary, racist jokes. Either that or I'm not really John Wheeler. And you should be nervous, because you don't know what John Wheeler looks like. And maybe I'm only here to tell racist jokes until Kruger realizes what happened while he went out to smoke and he tackles me and beats me up.
I'll fucking kill you. With my bare hands, John Wheeler.
You know what though? I thought of that joke earlier, and I was the fact that you introduced me super made it didn't work, because it's like obviously you know who I am. I was gonna say if someone else had done it, I could have been like, that guy doesn't know who I am, but you know who I am. I know. So anyway, my least favorite race is NASCAR. See? Because I can't stand white people. No, I'm kidding. I am a white people. How could I possibly hate that? Besides, my favorite race is probably the Kentucky Derby. Because it's still segregated. What? They only let horses race. Have you ever seen anyone riding a kangaroo in that thing? No. They keep it old school. No centaurs, no cows. You ride a horse. And that's all you get to do. Animal segregation is real, probably. I feel like they should give everyone a chance at the Kentucky Derby. Like, you could ride a moose or something. Centaurs do creep me out, though. Have you ever thought that they're basically bugs? What mouse has 6 legs. Centaurs, bugs. Centaurs are bugs. This concludes. This is a cover of one of my science fair projects that I thought of in the school bus when I was in 5th grade. Oh my God, I had to make notes because I'm saying so much stuff. This is the longest. I've only killed 5 minutes. I'd normally be getting the light by now. All right. So they say to be relatable. Kruger mentioned that I played in traveling, metal bands and stuff, and I did. I didn't used to have this mustache that makes me look like I sell cocaine to Wario and Waluigi. I didn't used to dress like Willy Wonka's. Whatever. I hate those. Oh, what do I look like? Jokes, because everybody looks stupid, but especially me. But no, I used to be like. I'm covered in tattoos. I had like the black dread mohawk. I was in like metal bands and stuff. And it's like, I do have all these great stories, but the thing about comedy is they're supposed to be relatable. And have any of you ever even been to the Gathering of the Juggalos? Okay, that's strike 1. So, you do know what it is though, right? When the Insane Clown Posse fans all get together. Yeah, here's a relatable story. I played on the main stage there twice. Yeah, in one of my old bands called Blue Felix. And we were not even like rap or clown centric or anything, but it was just, our manager was like, these guys will like you. And I'm like, I hope you're right. Because, everyone there is really fun, but they're pretty aggressive. They come up to you and they do the whoop whoop thing. And what they're doing is making sure you're doing it back, because otherwise they're going to probably fight you. But like whoop whoop, like, whoop whoop, damn right. I'm with you. But actually, like, my favorite thing about that, I guess I have a relatable story, is that the entrepreneurial spirit that was just completely surrounding that place. People were selling drugs, but not just drugs. Also, every kind of drug. Like, anything you could take to get fucked up, someone would just be selling you if you walked around long enough. Like, there was a guy selling bottles of Robitussin. And he had the empty bottles on each finger, and he'd come up and be like, yo, I got those $5 bottles of Tussin. I bought one. And I didn't have much more than $5, but that man could sell a bottle of Robitussin. The best non-drug selling entrepreneur that was there, I'm trying to remember this because I did drink a lot of Robitussin by the end of the night. But there was a kid, I would say kid, he's a younger guy, and he was just, his hustle was, you could staple money to him, and then he kept that money. Like, that was how it worked. It wasn't even like, if it's a 20, you can do his forehead, if it's a 50, like, you just got to do whatever you wanted. And that was a pretty great idea, because people were stapling shit to him. And I've seen like news reports about the Gathering of the Juggalos is coming, and people have all these like shitty things to say about it, like, this is what the end of society looks like. America, capitalism, this is what the future's gonna be if things keep blah blah blah. And I disagree with that completely, because it's what the beginning of America looks like, right? These guys are all working for themselves. They're keeping all the money they're making. That kid showed up with no shirt, a stapler that he certainly stole from somewhere, and a dream. And he left with like $100. No taxes, no manager, no nothing. He could have bought 20 bottles of Robitussin. 25 if that guy offers a bulk discount. And you know what? It's up to him. He works for himself. The end of society is you sitting there watching an employee training video while you're about to get paid minimum wage to have somebody staple money to you, and then you gotta send it to somebody else. And they're like, our good employees come in for the love of the game. They're, it's not about money. We're a family. Oh, yeah. And that's why your family takes all of the dollars that weird drunk people staple to you in this futuristic hell world that I've invented for this joke, because I got 16 minutes left, and to be honest, I'm getting a little nervous.
I believe in you.
I know you do. I'm lying. I wrote down notes. I'm going to sing a couple of songs, too. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't clap so early, but we'll see how you feel afterwards. But, so, here, I'll do a little preamble to a song to help it make sense in context. I discovered in the name of, and that's actually why I have the music stand. I can't remember the lyrics to these things I write. I'm not not one of those people that marijuana really like works for. It just gives me anxiety. And there's like 5 of us, and none of those people go to comedy shows. I've tried to talk shit about weed, and everybody just gets fucking mad. They're like, that's my happy sauce. Like, I know. But everyone's always excited about it. And I'm like the only person that's ever, when someone's like, hey, do you want to come over and do drugs? And I'm like, oh, it's just weed. By the way, I don't know what I was expecting. There's hardly anything you really want to do by surprise. Like, here's a heroin needle, woo! Time to watch the Super Bowl. Like if it's acid, it's like, I don't have 20 hours to kill like right now. That's a lot. But that is the weird thing. Every other drug and I actually get along pretty well. Like, even hallucinogens, and that's the thing that nobody gets, and I can't explain it either. Like, I can't take a 10 milligram edible of weed and like watch Encanto without freaking out. Like, it's like I can't watch like a fun, pretty good Disney movie on the smallest one that you can buy, like without going crazy. But I could eat a quarter of mushrooms and spend a day at a gun range, and I would just be having a blast. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun to you. This is unrelatable. So much so that the bit is just has to be said. There are, I think I realize you're right. I made a mistake. When I try to come up with bad examples, everyone's always like, that sounds awesome. I'm like, yeah, you're right. We should, if that sounds fun to you, we should go to like Bill's Gun Range at Robbinsdale or wherever that is. Do some boomers and just see like, see how long before we're imprisoned. Probably not terribly. See? Oh my God, making fun of weed. And then I did so many things about it. Let me just explain this song that I made. I like weed a little bit, okay? But I only really like it before bed. Like smoking it's easier than eating it for me. So I can smoke a little weed and go off to beddy by time. I can't believe I'm gonna try to do this song live. Oh my God. So I wrote a song called Sleepy Time Weed Boy. It's about me. And I had, so I kept the track of the other guy I'm talking to in it, so I just came on after like a lip sync battle. I shouldn't have to explain this for being weird. And in this song I rap, which I can't really do. And I would just say, Mr. Sound Tech or Mrs. or whomever, I'm so sorry. Why did I assume your gender? The sound tech person, if you would please, if you have the songs, and I hope you do. Yes! If you would cue up sleep. Oh, wait.
Hey, bro, do you smoke?
All right. Sure. I've been known to toke.
Do you want to take an edible?
Not right now.
Want to hit the stab rig?
I don't know how.
What about a fat blunt?
Nah, I'm straight.
A toot off the oil pan?
I'm gonna have to wait.
Cause there ain't no time like the present. What you waiting for?
Oh, haven't you heard? I'm a sleepy time weed boy. A little bit of in a cup before I hit the hay. It gets me down if there are people around. I get paranoid and stupid smoking during the day. Which isn't to say that I abstain, but there's too much going on inside my brain. Heard sativas are legal now that everything is legal, so I finally found my place. When I was waking and baking, I'd spend half the day shaking, writing bad poetry and losing my car keys. Used to smoke work to pass the time, but then I'd pass out before 8:45. And maybe that works for you, but it just doesn't work for me.
Oh no.
Only one way that cannabis continues to bring me joy, because I'm a sleepy time weed boy. Hit that shit under the covers at night. Sleepy time weed boy. Save it all for Betty by time.
So what do you smoke during the day?
I don't know, maybe a little CBD.
CBD? You can't get fucked up off some CBD.
Well, maybe I'm not trying to get fucked up. I got stuff I actually need to do, man.
So what? You can't pay attention while you're vibing?
Buddy, I can barely breathe. I'm a sleepy time weed boy. Hit that shit under the covers at night. Sleepy time weed boy. Save it all for Betty by time. Sleepy time weed boy. Hit that shit under the covers at night. Sleepy time weed boy. Save it all for Betty by time. Thank you. That was my sleepy time weed boy song. And I realized I completely fucked up. I didn't mute my track so you could sort of hear me all quiet behind myself, and it was really fucking me up bad. Oh my God. But could you imagine if I did that on weed? Nah. It would have been a lot worse. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. 10 minutes left. Let's do the kiddie pool story. It's there's actually not a kiddie pool, but there are little kids in a pool. So yeah, it's bad. All right, check this out. So while I was in one of the touring bands that I was in, we actually got put up at a halfway cool hotel once called Aloft. I think we have one in town somewhere. There's like a cool bar that's open late where everything has LEDs and changes color, and there's the pool right next to it. And we were in the pool, and let me just get this out of the way real quick. This right here, everybody can see that?
Wow.
Yeah, this is the least offensive and least satanic tattoo on my entire body. And I was in the swimming pool in my tidy whities because I didn't bring a swimsuit on tour because I didn't think there'd be a pool, because usually we would just sleep in the van. But we got lucky. So anyway, I was the only person in the band that didn't have a tattoo on my face. So, you know, we looked trustworthy. And so there was us, no staff or anything, some lady, and she had 2 kids, like 4 and 6 or something. And like we were hanging out, we've been drinking at the bar, and she kind of just got up to like leave. And no one else really noticed, but I was like, hey, hang on a second. You know, this might surprise you, but we don't work here. You're leaving your small children, and I know the metal and punk rock guys, they usually have hearts of gold. Yeah, those are guys with like big beards and have kitty cat stickers on their guitars, and we know those guys. Those guys do have hearts of gold. We look like we broke into steel copper wiring. Like, if that's what you see, maybe at least get a first name before you just leave your like kindergarten-age children with some people. And I also had to point out that it's like, we're not lifeguards either. I mean, I gotta tell you, in all honesty, like I got her attention. I'm like, listen, where are you even going? For one thing, like if you think, I know it's like, you know, obnoxious if you have to like get your kids out, give them towels just to go down the hall to the bathroom. But if you think you have to get out of the pool to do that, I have some good and bad news for you. I had been drinking for hours and I hadn't gotten out of the pool in quite a while. And it was nice and warm. Everyone loves a peeing in the pool joke at 11:30 at night. But yeah, I wasn't alone, so yeah. But anyway, I'm like, yeah, we're not lifeguards, and let me just say that, like, as much as, you know, I'd hate to see anything bad happen, like, if they disappear into the aquamarine abyss, I'm not getting up. Because, look, if you're like a nice young lady who's like, you know, like a college student, and you jump in there and try to save one of those children's lives and they die on you, and then someone comes in, they're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, you're gonna get to go on the news and cry and, you know, be like, oh, you know, they'll put your Venmo up or your OnlyFans or whatever, and you'll get a lot of requests for feed pics, but you'll be making money. And that's the important thing, I think. Oh yeah, but I, you know, again, like I have the Dreadhawk, like I'm covered in awful tattoos, and like, if they catch me just like hunched over, sucking face with a dead baby when they bust in the door, and I'm like, yeah, my tiny whities are just clear now, I'm just like, ugh. It's not what it looks. Okay, I'm not saying there's a good way to end up on the sex offender registry, but no one's even gonna believe that when I have to go door to door telling my neighbors about everything. Be like, I was trying to save that child's life. Yeah, right. We're gonna kick your ass at the block party. Unlikely story. The news said you had a boner. Someone cut our coke with Viagra. Ha ha. Funny joke on me. Okay, that visual might have been too much for you. I was in the pool, so it might have just balanced out to not looking like much. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, look. It's not like, you know, again, there's no good way to end up on the sex offender list, but at the very least, come with like a fun story. Like you go to an all-girls Catholic school during a lacrosse game in tearaway Velcro pants, and during halftime, you just run out onto the field. Who has daddy issues? I'll take a beating for that, all right? All the high fives might be to my face, but I'll be like, I did something fun. I did it on purpose, you know. I wasn't trying to save a baby. I was asking rhetorical questions like, who here has daddy issues? Everybody. You know, all right, I believe, oh yeah, and then one last thing happened. One of the kids did fall and skin their knee, and something came over me, so I did get up, and I went right out to the bar, because, no, I'm a man of my word. I was gonna pretend I was in a different room. I've done that bit once before. That lady was keeping it old school, though. Like, being negligent with your kids, like, I'm 41, I am married, we don't have kids. One of us doesn't really like kids, one of us is way too irresponsible, and both of those people are me. I mean, that story, it's like, oh, back in your rock and roll days. That was like 2.5 years ago. That was like right before the pandemic when that happened. Like, yeah, like, no, there's no way that I should be ever reproducing. But I think I would if you could be as negligent as everyone was when I was a kid. Like, if you could just be like, yeah, I just throw him a bologna sandwich every once in a while and then just kick him out of the way when I want to watch Wheel of Fortune. It's like everyone's like, kids are always on their phone. My mom was always on the phone. She didn't teach me anything. She was a nice lady, but all she did was just smoke cigarettes and run her mouth on the phone in the kitchen to Aunt Sue. Like, oh, you're kidding. Oh, you're kidding. I thought my aunt's name was You're Kidding for a while. That's actually just true. I was like, I called her the You're Kidding lady, and everyone laughed and I didn't know why. Kind of like now. I can only guess what like actually might be funny, but you know, I kind of understand that negligence just a little bit from back then at the very least, because I'm only, 40, right? So what, like 2 generations ago was when you had like 10 kids because, only 3 of them would survive. The rest would just get taken out by coal mine fires and polio and shit. And not everyone makes it to the end of the Oregon Trail. We all know our history. My great-grandfather, certainly of that generation, like, when I was in 2nd grade, right in front of me, to my parents, was like, you didn't name this one already, did you? Well, that's gonna be a sad day. And I lived, and guess who didn't? Fuck you, great-grandpa. Who died in a coal mine fire at the age of 101. People just don't want to work anymore, Thank God that generation's dead. Okay. Oh, 2 minutes. Okay. Probably got one. Oh yeah, more about when I was a kid, because that's back when the only appropriate stuff. Well, that's not even really true. All right, I was talking about phones, and people were like, everything's all fucked up now because kids are always on their phone. And like, there's probably something bad. It'll be like cigarettes someday. Like in the 50s, they'll be like, do you have a cough? Try smoking menthols. Like, that'll fix you right up. It's like doctors said that. Like, that was a thing. And then now, 40 years from now, they're gonna be like, you let your kids on Facebook? Are you insane? That thing that destroyed democracy? Like, you just let them play with that all day? There's no kids on, they're on TikTok. So am I. But, yeah, like, I get it, but you know what I played with, like, all day long when I was turning 12 and 13? Fire. And I mean all day, because what else was there? There was like one Nintendo game that I couldn't afford. And like, so the whole day was just dedicated to like, whose parents didn't lock their lighters up. I think I saw an old gas can by where that tire is. And, we just, like, oh, we got one going. Like, that would just be our whole day until we'd eventually like look up and be like, well, all right. That is getting to be a pretty big fire. We should probably just leave. And at the very least, if we had social media, we would have put it on social media, and then we would have gotten caught and in trouble, and we would have had to stop doing it. We did this every single day with like no one interceding, because you don't know where we were. It was like 1988 or something like that. We'd just be like, well, we sure had a big fire today. Same time tomorrow, Pete? Yup, see you at the dump. And that was just life. And if I had a phone, no, that should definitely be on the internet. Oh my God, 50 seconds, 49. I am not singing that other song. Probably.
You can't do the other song.
No. Like, I'm realizing that my ability to like stay on time with it because I messed up the backing tracks is like a bad idea. I shouldn't do it. It's just gonna be bad. It won't be bad, but I might have a joke. Oh yeah, right. I'll tell you one last joke, and it is this. Thank you, Kruger, for inviting me to do this, despite the fact that I am not a real stand-up comedian. I started doing this like 2 years ago. I've done it about 15 times, and I don't care if it works out at all. Just like my music career, I've realized in my old age that I just need to do it. I need to put it out there, whether anyone laughs, whether anyone listens. I just have to get it out. It's like jacking off to keep your prostate healthy. I don't want prostate cancer. And you people are the crusty sock next to my computer. And if I gave a fuck what that crusty sock thought, I'd probably treat it with a little bit more respect. Thank you all very much for listening.
Give it up for John Wheeler, everybody.